Welcome to Story Sprouts, where imagination and magic grow every day. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's magical story. Once upon a time, in a village on the edge of a dense, mysterious jungle, there was a young boy named Marcus. The village, small and peaceful, was surrounded by stories of the jungle's wildness. Parents often warned their children never to stray too far from home, especially because of the feared lions that ruled the jungle. These lions were known to be fierce and merciless, with massive paws and sharp claws that could tear through anything in their path. But Marcus, curious and daring, always felt that there was something more to the jungle, something beyond the danger. Something that called out to him. One afternoon, when Marcus's curiosity got the best of him, he quietly slipped away from his family and headed toward the jungle. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and growing plants, and as he ventured deeper, he marveled at the wild beauty around him. The sounds of birds chirping and leaves rustling filled his ears. He could feel the magic of the jungle. But as the sun began to set, casting an orange glow over the trees, Marcus realized he had strayed too far. The jungle around him became quieter, the rustle of leaves turning into ominous silence. The thick trees loomed above, and the once comforting sounds of the animals became distant, as if they were warning him to turn back. Panic began to rise in Marcus's chest. The jungle, beautiful and enchanting, suddenly felt suffocating, almost alive with the unknown. It was then that he heard it, a deep growl that vibrated through the ground. Marcus froze, his heart pounding. He turned slowly, and there, emerging from the shadows, was a giant lion. Its golden mane shimmered in the sea, dimming light, and its amber eyes pierced through the gloom, locking onto him. Marcus's legs shook as he stood motionless. He had heard the stories. The lions never spared humans. This was the king of the jungle, and it was coming for him. Leo, the lion, had ruled these lands for years. Fearless and powerful, he was a creature of instinct, and his instincts told him that Marcus was an intruder. The jungle was his kingdom, and no human had the right to wander so deep within. With a terrifying roar, Leo lunged toward Marcus, his massive paws pounding the earth, his sharp claws glinting in the fading light. In a burst of adrenaline, Marcus ran. His heart raced, and his breath came in quick, shallow gasps. He dodged. Tree trunks leapt over rocks and weaved through the thick jungle. But no matter how fast he ran, he could hear Leo's thundering steps behind him, growing louder and closer. It seemed impossible to escape the lion's wrath. Then, just as Leo was about to pounce, Marcus spotted a large ancient tree with a hollow at its base. Without thinking, he dove into the hollow and crouched low, barely able to breathe. His heart hammered in his chest as he peered through the branches, watching the lion circle the area. Leo sniffed the ground, his powerful nose catching Marcus's scent. The lion paused, his eyes scanning the area. Marcus held his breath, praying the lion wouldn't find him. For what felt like an eternity, the jungle seemed to hold its breath, the silence heavy and thick. But then, to Marcus's surprise, Leo slowly turned away, as if losing interest. He let out a low growl and disappeared back into the trees. Marcus remained hidden for the rest of the night, unable to move. He could hear the distant howls of other jungle creatures, but Leo's growl was the only sound that mattered. He didn't dare leave his hiding spot until the first light of dawn crept through the jungle. His legs were stiff, and his body was sore from lying in the hollow all night, but he was alive. The next day, Marcus ventured deeper into the jungle, trying to find a way back to his village. But as the hours passed, he realized he was no closer to finding an exit. It was then that he encountered Leo again. This time, the lion did not roar or charge. Instead, Leo stood a few feet away, his amber eyes locked on Marcus. He seemed curious, not aggressive. For a moment, there was a strange, silent understanding between the boy and the lion. Leo did not move, and neither did Marcus. They simply watched each other. As days passed, Marcus came to understand something unexpected. Leo, the fierce lion who had chased him with murderous intent, had stopped seeing him as an enemy. Though he was still a predator, he no longer considered Marcus a threat. Instead, he seemed to watch over the boy from a distance, always keeping an eye on him. It was as if Leo had become his silent protector, ensuring no harm came to him, even in the most dangerous parts of the jungle. One evening, as Marcus made his way along a narrow path near the river, a sudden rustling noise caught his attention. Before he could react, a group of wild hyenas emerged from the bushes. They were known to be ruthless, preying on anything weaker than themselves. The hyenas cackled menacingly as they circled Marcus, their sharp teeth gleaming in the moonlight. Marcus's heart raced. He was trapped. Just as the hyenas were about to pounce, a deafening roar echoed through the jungle. Leo appeared, charging toward the hyenas with terrifying speed. His powerful body lunged at the pack, sending them scattering in all directions. The hyenas, fearing the lion's wrath, fled into the jungle, their howls echoing in the night. Marcus stood frozen, his breath coming in ragged gasps. As Leo turned to face him, the lion's amber eyes softened, and for the first time, Marcus saw the depth of Leo's care. Leo had saved his life again. Marcus dropped to his knees, overwhelmed with gratitude. "Thank you, Leo," Marcus whispered, his voice trembling. "You're not like the stories. You're not a monster." Leo's amber eyes met Marcus's, and for a long moment, they simply looked at each other. It was clear that the lion had grown to trust Marcus, and the boy had learned that the lion, despite his fearsome appearance, was more than just a predator. He was a guardian of the jungle, and in turn, Marcus had become part of the jungle's rhythm. Over the next few weeks, Marcus and Leo formed an unspoken bond. Marcus learned from Leo the way he moved through the jungle, the sounds of the animals, the ways of survival. In return, Marcus showed Leo his kindness and respect. They became a team. Marcus began to understand the balance of the jungle, how every creature, even the fiercest lion, had a role to play. And Leo, in turn, began to understand that not all humans were threats. One day, after many adventures together, Marcus knew it was time to return to his village. The jungle had taught him invaluable lessons about courage, kindness, and respect. But his family would be worried, and he missed them. "I'll never forget you, Leo," Marcus said, his voice full of emotion. "You saved my life, and you showed me the true heart of the jungle." Leo let out a low, rumbling growl, a sound of agreement and affection. It was as if the lion, too, knew their time together was coming to an end. With a final glance at his friend, Marcus turned and began his journey back to the village. He promised himself that one day he would return to the jungle, to the lion who had become his protector and friend. Thanks for watching Story Sprouts. We hope you had fun and felt the magic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can join us for more amazing stories and adventures. See you next time, little adventurers!